So there's this other one though that I really regret not getting, and it's this devil, and he's sitting on a rock. He's got a knife and he's cutting cheese, and he's like, "You ever tried cheese?" Isn't that great?
I made, because I have that business. I have the vinyl monogram, sublimation, t-shirts, all that kind of
Oh
stuff.
my gosh, you do sublimation.
And I have made these kitchen towels that has this chicken, and she's like in a devil, like the sexy devil costume.
Oh, right.
And it says wicked chickens lay deviled eggs.
I like that. Okay.
Okay.
I hope I don't accidentally go out of frame too much. Okay, hey everybody, it's Anna Gail, and I am with my friend Tanya, and we are about to paint This Magic Happens, the October box. And we haven't practiced beforehand yet again, and so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to mix the colors exactly the way I want to, but we're just going to get started. So what I like to do is have you just kind of open everything. I do want to say that remember that my videos are different than most YouTube videos. These are not meant to be like captivating and to draw your attention. We play in the background and you can see what we're doing in case you need to know how to mix colors or something like that. And we're going to girl talk and stuff, but there's not going to be a lot of editing. We're just like painting for about 2 hours. Okay.
I need a drum roll.
Yeah. So there's like a little letter to tell you how to find things on YouTube, and then there's like an example of what the painting can look like. But the great thing is that the design is faint enough to where you can make whatever color for the elements that you want to.
That is so neat how they're in the background. I like that.
Yes.
How cute is this?
Okay, and so in your box, and remind me, I have a bad habit of stealing people's paints after they paint with me, but this is your box and these are your paints. And so take them home with you.
Okay.
Because you're going to have plenty left over because you don't need all of it. So you've got in the box like an example and the canvas, and then 12 tubes of paint, a palette, and 2 paintbrushes.
That's just cute.
Yes. So let's get started.
All right.
I have practiced this before and it didn't go very well, so I'm slightly nervous. So I got you like your own thing of water, and then here's your drinking water.
Don't mix them up.
Yeah. And I've got some paper towels over here. Okay.
So where do we start?
So you need to start with the background, and you don't need to cover up anything as you're moving towards the foreground.
Okay.
So like when you do the sunset, paint around the letters.
Okay.
And then you're going to do background, middle ground, foreground, and then do it all over again. So that you've got your underpainting and then you've got an overpainting. And then you can go back through and touch up.
Okay.
And that's what I recommend. And a lot of times people sit beside me and they go rogue and they do something else. And then they're not necessarily super happy with it. I know that you're artistic and you're going to like find a groove, you know.
Okay.
Deal?
Deal.
Okay. So, are you going to do the colors the same? So the way that I did it and I wasn't super happy with is I actually wanted to do a crescent moon. So I changed the sun into a crescent moon.
Okay.
And I'm silly enough to where I might actually try that again.
Okay.
But I think it's
last week we had a full moon.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, something like that was a full moon. People are crazy during the full moon.
Right. But it was actually just a few days ago though, right?
Yes. It's like, yeah, Friday or Saturday, I think it was.
So I'm actually gonna do, if you notice in this, it goes like yellow, orange, red, purple, like blue-gray, blue, and then I'm gonna do like a dark blue-green,
Okay.
and then a purple. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Part of the reason why I expect this to go a little better than the last time is because my original faint outline,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm still learning what to do, it lost the detail. So I actually went back in and put these little white lines to help me differentiate the different colors,
Okay.
the blocks, you know. So what kind of art do you do? Are you just generally
Just a crafty gal. I like all the.
So you still have that little Facebook store?
I do. More Myrtle
Huh?
is the name of it. More Myrtle. I know it's weird, right?
So this is a different one than the one I was thinking about,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you had one where you were doing clothing and stuff with that girl.
Yes, that was Reese's. That went away.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just have more Myrtle now, which is what I've had the longest. I think I'm gonna paint over some lines. I'm gonna.
I get it, and I detailed all this stuff, and it's completely optional. Oh, and you bring up a good point. It's also optional to do any letters, or the extra letters, because Magic Happens is pretty cool by itself,
Right.
or just the painting without any letters.
And see, that's what I was thinking, because I mean, technically, if you paint over Magic Happens, you can make your own. You know, if you have really pretty handwriting, which I don't.
Right, but see, that's one of those pitfalls that my friends keep getting into, is that they,
If they paint over it, then they have to write it.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. So I'm thinking if I just do it thin enough on the first go round, then I
I wonder if all the people at home are doing this too. So guess where the furthest box goes to?
can.
This lady has gotten 3 boxes so far. Cyprus, the country of Cyprus.
Where is that?
Exactly.
Hello.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's I can't remember what it's around, you know. Isn't that
That's
funny?
cool.
I know. So this month I've got boxes that are Cyprus, Canada,
Okay.
the United Kingdom, and then several in California, about 3 or 4 in LA,
Mm-hmm.
Austin, Texas, Kansas.
Have you ever been to Austin, Texas?
No.
I haven't either. It's a
Do you
very.
want to?
I do want to. It's a very artsy town. They're very.
Oh.
I know. Austin, Texas is on my bucket list. But I'm gonna need a comment on this from the girl in Cyprus. Like, I'm gonna need her to comment like the picture of her front yard, just so we can like know.
Nice. Or maybe the picture of the painting that we're doing.
Yes, that would be cool.
Do you have Instagram?
I try.
Nice.
I try Instagram.
I know.
I don't understand
it's different,
it.
Right?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
So it's so different, and like my mind is wired for Facebook.
Yes.
And I understand how that works. And then this is a little different. So my Airbnb guest got in, I can hear him moving around, and so he's probably like, what are these people doing? Because I think that they can hear me, although I can't really ever hear them very much.
You must have really excellent hearing, because I don't hear anything
Oh,
going on down there.
just a little bang bang. Also saw him pull up though.
Oh, okay.
You know. This is like his like third or fourth time staying about 5 days.
Oh, wow.
I had this.
Is he here for work?
Mm-hmm. He's eventually moving to Huntsville. There's like 53 people a day moving to Huntsville, and like,
What?
yeah. And I was talking to a lady. She was like, "Oh no, that's what they used to say about Nashville."
Nashville's huge.
Right.
Nashville's huge.
And people are moving away. And she was like, kind
Yeah.
of part of the reason why she was here is she was trying to find something fun but less busy.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Okay, so I'm kind of digging that like I can like pick this yellow, and then I've got it mixed up, and now I'm gonna add like a little bit of white to get this one here,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna add a little this orangey color right here with this yellow would give me that. If I just put a little bit of it in there.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, like a little zhuzh.
A zhuzh.
Zhuzh.
Every time I do one of these paintings, I accidentally make custard. You know, like when kids are eating a corn dog and they mix up their ketchup and mustard.
Yes. Clustered.
Okay, so I haven't seen you in about a year. Okay, we just randomly kind of like had a little tiny business endeavor together,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then like it was great seeing you, and I remember we had like depth of conversation
Yes.
that you can't always get with everyone, and I just remember appreciating that.
Right.
But then I hadn't seen you, and then I like a couple of days ago was like, hey, do you want to paint with me?
Soon.
Soon.
There's a lot of O's in that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of O's.
So it's been very difficult to get my October thing painted. I've had 3 people flake out on me.
Aww.
And honestly, what happened with one of them, like we did the painting and the YouTube video, and then she said she wanted to have like final say so in what I published. And I was like, it don't go like that. So I'm just gonna redo it. But it really put me in a bind.
That's a
Shitty thing to do. It is. Yeah.
Wow. That's,
And like she was like, I want to have final say so, and that's what you should do with all your friends anyway to maintain your good friendships. I was like, everyone completely understands what they're getting into, and I'm not gonna like I'm not gonna relinquish any creative control, and this is a precedent that I have to set, right?
Well, yeah.
And so I was like, I'll just delete it and refilm it, because that was the only way for me to salvage my friendship, right? That was the only way that I could, because I could have done it against her wishes. I could have done it against her wishes and she would have never known it,
True.
right? But I'm not that person. And then she hasn't talked to me since. Isn't that weird? Like, we're really good friends, or I thought we were, you know, but like our kids all hang out together and they're best friends. And so now my kids haven't seen her kids, and I just feel like that's
real shitty.
yeah.
Wow.
I hope she watches this. 'Cause I'm upset.
That's not,
I also would like to suggest using, I'm not going to send this in the box, but using like a chalk marker
Yeah.
or even a Sharpie
Yeah.
to do the lettering instead of painting it. I continually paint the letters, and I've gotten to where I really enjoy it. And it's one of the, because part of the reason why I do this and why I want other people to do this is because they get good at their brush control. And so painting the letters is one of the best little exercises for that, you know? You know? Although it's not the most fun. All right, so I don't remember. Were you married the last time I saw you?
yes.
Okay.
I still am.
You said you were with your husband in Chattanooga. the other day when I was trying to get you to paint with me that night.
Yes.
Well, cool. How was Chattanooga?
It was fun. I love Chattanooga.
I know, right?
It's just a fun little place.
So y'all just went for a cute little day trip.
We did.
Aww.
Just hanging out. Just hanging out. There's a place up there called, I want to say, it's, I don't know what I want to say it is. It's something Biscuit Company.
Oh.
And it's a little restaurant, and they do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but everything is served on a biscuit.
Nice.
And they're so good. They're so,
I narrowly escaped making cluster just now.
yeah,
Didn't I?
you did. It's kind of more peachy than cluster, but
Right.
you were close.
So what you been up to in the last year?
Working, still in banking.
Fun.
After 27 years
No
in
way.
banking. Yeah. No, it's not fun. People are crazy. People are crazy.
Did y'all have anybody like come take all their money out when the virus happened? Can you talk about that?
No. Yeah, I can talk about that. No, we didn't, but we get people like all the time that are angry because, well, not so much now, but I mean, there really was a coin. There was not a national coin shortage. The coin didn't go anywhere. That, you know, we just couldn't get our hands on it because of.
Yes, I would like to understand this.
Because I know, because it's weird, right?
Right.
Because when Federal Reserve, when COVID hit, you know, they had to send all their employees home because everybody, you can't make coin from home. So they just didn't have the employees there to fill all of these orders. So that's what happened. I mean, the coin didn't go anywhere.
Oh.
You know, they
It's
just,
not like people were hoarding the coins?
no, people weren't hoarding the coin.
Oh.
We just couldn't get our hands on the coin.
Because they weren't making new coins.
Correct.
Or cleaning the coins?
Yeah, I don't know what they do to the coins.
They do, yeah.
I don't know.
Weird.
But yeah, so I mean, and it's not as bad. We're getting coins in our shipment now. But yeah, I got into banking when I was 19. I was
Really?
in college the first time. I have a wonderful degree in interior design that I've never even used. Right? Look at this house. You don't need my help. I love this house.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I fear that one day I'm gonna like feel like I missed the boat and I should have done interior design.
Yeah. So you know, it's just fun stuff. Fun. But people are crazy. Either they're crazy about their money, their kids, or their animals. Therefore, I don't recommend a vet, a daycare, or a school, or a bank because people are crazy.
Oh.
I don't recommend working there. I
Right.
mean, it's fun. I mean, it's never boring. Never. Even though you'd like it to be sometimes.
So you did it. You've been doing that for a while, and have you stayed around New Hope the whole time? Working around
Yes, I have. I still live in the same house I grew up in. But it's about to be for sale. Those 50 people moving to Huntsville a day, I really need to get my house on the market.
there? Oh. Right. You live in the house you grew up in? Wow.
Yes. Yes. So I have a house in 13 acres. And it needs to go.
Oh. That's
I don't
so
know where I'm
interesting.
going to go.
Right.
I don't know where I'm going to go.
That's interesting.
Yes. I don't know. I wished I'd have made cluster up here because this is.
Well, this is your underpainting, so it's all good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I suggest to decide if you're going to paint the edges as you go, or if you're just going to go over the whole edge with one color.
You know what? That's an awesome idea. I'm going to start painting that edge. And just do one whole color.
Awesome. So I reached out to this guy. I bought like a Plinko what's the word I'm looking for? He had he planned out how to build a Plinko board
Okay.
with very detailed instructions,
Mhm.
and you just download that PDF for $5, right? And I did that a few years ago, and then I contacted him to ask him about doing some business together,
Right.
and I looked, and that is his only item on Etsy,
Yeah.
and he sold 1,400 of them.
$5 a piece.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Wow.
I mean, who would have thunk it? I was like, I cannot believe you sold so many of those. He's like, me neither. You know?
Hmm.
Crazy. All right, so tell me about 2020. How's 2020 been treating you?
Well,
So wait before.
okay.
Why are you selling your house? You don't love it?
No, not anymore. I need a change.
I get that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the house I grew up in. I'm an only child, so my dad passed away and I inherited everything. And then, we used to be 5 generations on this land. Well, everybody's gone.
Oh.
It's just a bummer.
Oh, I get that.
And it's just a bummer. And, I've lived for so long it still takes me a good 25 minutes to get to Walmart.
No way.
Yeah, I live on the back side of you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
around Shirttail Bend or?
other direct, Butler's Mill.
Yeah.
That's where I live.
Okay.
So it's, I just want something new. I want something different. I want something,
I totally get that.
yeah, something new, different. I just lost the top of my H and I'm just not mad at it.
Yeah.
It'll be alright.
Mhm.
It'll be alright. I don't quite know what I'm just making a mess. But it's okay. It's my
It's
mess.
okay, yeah.
But yeah, and plus it's 13 acres. I'm
That's
tired
right,
of
upkeep.
mowing grass.
So what happened with the other houses that were on there? They've all been torn down and gone away?
Yes, I sold half, I had 25 acres total, and I
Yeah.
sold half the property, which had one house on it at one point.
Okay.
And they sold it, they tore it down and built another house. It's really, really pretty. And then,
That's ready for property values.
Exactly.
So are you gonna live in a subdivision? Can you do that? Can you
no,
go
I don't,
from
I don't think I can.
what you were doing to that? Cause I think that would be hard.
It would be hard, but do you know what my crazy self is thinking about doing?
What?
Either a tiny house or an RV.
Oh my gosh. So one of the best tiny home manufacturers is in Gunnersville.
Yes.
And he's selling them in California. They're gorgeous.
They're gorgeous.
He's gorgeous too.
Really?
Yes.
I've never seen him.
I stumbled
Check this
upon his
out.
Facebook and I was like, Doug Schroeder.
Okay. Well, Doug, I'll check you out later.
But his tiny homes are you can pull them with a fifth wheel,
Yes. Yes.
so you can easily leave them. And they are luxurious and fancy.
Hmm. Yeah.
Luxurious. Well, awesome.
Look, I think that I need a little more ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I'm getting there.
Mm-hmm. Making that cluster.
Making that cluster. Yes, that's about it.
So, how long have you been married?
At the end of this month, it will be 19 years.
Wow.
Yes.
So, I have loneliness, right?
Yes.
I'm lonely.
Yes.
I have some friends, and I've worked hard to kind of build these friendships.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone's busy. You know?
Yes.
Do you feel kind of, because when I try to, a lot of times when I try to like vent to a friend that has a spouse, they're like, oh, well, it's not like I really talk to my spouse. But it's different, because there's another adult in your house, right?
Yes. I think, yes, I get what you're saying. Because it's not like you can vent to your spouse about your spouse.
Right.
So, yeah, but I get it. There's sometimes when you just want to. And plus, I think if you're like in that spousal, that spouse, when you vent, they want to fix it, or yeah. So not, and I don't always want it fixed. Sometimes
Right.
I just want to. Sometimes I just want to bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was actually, this is dangerous because you're from where I grew up, right? I was talking to a guy, like a friend zone, the
Yes.
other day, which means a guy that I friend zoned,
Okay.
right? And I was explaining like an issue that I had with my parents, and he was trying to troubleshoot. Oh, well, maybe they were thinking this, or maybe they were trying to do this. And I was like, read the room, buddy. Like, I'm telling you, they didn't choose me in this situation, and no, you're not choosing me.
Exactly.
That's the opposite of what I need.
That's
And then
yeah.
the next time I talked to him, he was like trying to be really careful not to give me advice. And he was like, I'm at a loss of what to say. And I was like, this has been the best conversation we have ever had. You know?
Yeah. Just yes, I get that. Yeah.
They just can't help it, can they?
No.
So, can you call this an inspirational quote?
Magic happens
Loosely.
when a soul falls in love with dreams. It can be, well, loosely.
Loosely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad you're taking your time. Enjoying the project.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing later? Nothing?
Nothing. Not a thing.
I guess the guy that you used to work for, Tommy, does some handiwork. For me sometimes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So nice.
Yeah. Haven't seen him in forever.
He's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Bless his heart. Like, I got him to, I was like, all right, let's hang this light fixture, paint my daughter's room.
Yeah.
The blinds came in. Let's hang those.
Mm-hmm.
And he had kind of quoted me for 2 of those 3 things, but then he did 3 things, but then I kind of like forgot about that. And so then like, I was like, no, wait a second, why are you charging me so much money? And then but I just wanted to communicate. And once I brought it out, now I'm sure, because I want to have a good working relationship with people. And so now he's scared to come back and do stuff. Because he thinks I'm going to freak out or something, you know. And I was just trying to completely understand what was going on, you know. Yeah.
Oh well. Oh well. It'll be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember Chattanooga in a long time.
Yeah.
I'd like to go
There's an awesome bookstore up there, like a used
there.
bookstore.
I love just walking across that bridge and
Yes.
then going to all that stuff.
Yeah.
Spending a few hours there. All right, so can we talk about your surgery?
Absolutely.
You happy about it?
I am. My only regret is that I didn't have it like 20 years ago.
Sooner. See, that's what everybody says.
Yeah.
They're like, best decision ever.
Best decision ever.
She's talking about, it was gastric sleeve.
Gastric sleeve, yes. As of this morning, so let's see, I had surgery on New Year's Eve. So we're now, 10 months and 5 days
Mhm.
plus one,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
107 pounds gone. Isn't that crazy?
Just bananas. Like
Yes.
there's this other girl that I know that's on Facebook that had that, and she's just like maybe 5 months in or so, and
Yeah.
she's lost like 60 pounds. It's just bananas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. It's definitely, yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. So you do wish you would have done it sooner.
I do wish I'd have done it sooner.
Now, you know, people say that, like, you know, you run the risk of, like, having, like, some other kind of latent addiction kind of pop up or something.
Yes.
Is that, wait, tell me about that.
I've never really, I've never really been a smoker. I've never really been a drinker. I do like going to Tunica, but just because I get free rooms, not necessarily because I like to play the slot machine. But I think
You're just not typically like a
I don't have that
addictive personality.
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm, I don't. Thank goodness.
So you don't feel like you had that with food either. You just
Oh no, I didn't say that.
But that's
with
the
food. I think food for me, food was always my friend. I would always comfort eat.
right,
You know, I'm stressed. I
right.
need a burger. I'm
Mhm.
sad. I need a burger. I'm happy. Everybody needs a pizza.
Right.
So it's, but you just kind of have to learn to where you put your energy now.
Right.
You know, because they removed, like 90% of my stomach, so it's not going in there.
Right.
And that's a rough thing. A couple of weeks ago, my husband's very sick. He's been sick for a while, and we had a little bit of a scare, a trip to the emergency room overnight, a couple nights in the hospital. But I wanted to eat because I was, and I just couldn't. And it's,
Oh,
because
that's interesting.
yeah, because now I can only like a quarter cup of food at a time is about all I can stomach. That's as big as
Really?
my stomach is. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
it's
you kind of
wild.
did that, like, so you saw that you had that kind of like response.
Yes.
So, but that's what people say is that there might be something else because you can't kind of.
Yeah,
do
no,
that.
eating is not I can't fix it with eating now. So I think that, and that's kind of, it's a very eye-opening thing. It can be a very traumatic
Sure.
realization because now you have to, oh my gosh, I have to
But you're capable
figure
of,
out
yeah.
what's going on with me now, that
Right.
sort of thing.
You can do alpha stems, like it's
Mhm.
this thing that I want to get one of those, like you clip them onto your ears, and
Yeah.
it like relaxes you.
Really?
Meditation. My daughter calls it morning doodles, but like I'm writing kind of like intentions and positive thinking for
Right.
the day. And that's the thing I was telling my friend the other night. I was like, God, it's just like the only way that I can like in a healthy way control my anxiety is that I have to do things
Yes.
that take time and effort.
Yeah, absolutely. There is this awesome app that I have found. It's called Berrytastic, I think is the name of it.
Yeah.
And it really is. It's for people who have had this, weight loss surgery, whatever weight loss surgery you've had. But you go in and each morning you put in each item that you've eaten, and it keeps up with total carbs, proteins, sodium, each thing.
Okay.
And then
How does
Every
that-
time you log in for your water intake, you log that, but you log your 3 meals, you log your snacks, you log your exercise and how many steps and all this stuff. And I think that I would have, if I had been prior surgery, if I had ever been very serious about weight loss, I think that that would have helped me even
Right.
then, because
So
it's
how's it
very
different than,
accountability kind of thing.
What's the name of that? MyFitnessPal.
Oh, this is more geared towards, it has more of the food stuff. Instead of like MyFitnessPal is more of a, the fitness side, the steps, the everything. This one has, like, you can type in Dunkin' Donuts and it'll come up with their coffees and you just choose. So it's, or you can put in your own recipes, and this one is to it has more of an option to keep up with food.
I was on MyFitnessPal one time, and I looked up like a grilled cheese sandwich or something, and like in the description, the person that posted this said, "I do not like how much control I have here," because that's what people do. Like they're like, "Oh, I had 4 ounces of meat. Let me see which 4 ounces of meat says it's the least amount of calories."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And this particular app, like if there's, if I get a protein bar, I can just turn on the camera and scan the barcode, and it automatically knows.
I think MyFitnessPal does that too.
Really?
Yeah, but whatever. I'm glad that this is all working for you.
Yes.
So you just now have started kind of like feeling a little like, what am I going to do with my stress?
Right.
Is that kind of like a new?
No, I've always had like the stress and anxiety thing.
Sure.
Man, I don't know what's going on with my sky, but I'm thinking that there's some torrential rain and downpours coming, or
It's moody.
it's very moody.
It's moody.
It is moody.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see
like
if
it
we
though.
can. We'll see what we can do with
Yeah,
that.
because
later.
it's just the underpaid.
That's true.
That's just the underpaid. Happy accidents.
Yes.
I'm so glad you're doing this with me.
Me too.
I wondered though, like months when it's hard for me to find somebody, like I guess I could just do like this angle and just not talk and just paint it. I mean, I don't. Is it gonna get easier for me to find people, or what?
Well, I don't know.
I like the idea of the YouTube video. Is it necessary though?
Oh, I think it is. I think this is the fun part.
I do too. I don't know. I guess I just don't know how it's all gonna look. You know, like I've just got all these things in the air that need to land.
Right. So can you do like live feeds on YouTube?
Yes.
So if you had a live feed and have the people that get the box paint with you?
So I don't think I can include them though. They would just paint with me. So it'd be similar to this.
Right.
You
So
know?
it's not necessarily like a Zoom meeting or whatever those things are called.
Right. But if I could, do a live and then it still kind of saves on
Yes.
my page, then that's fine. I think I want to use the Facebook Live, the YouTube Lives for, like, critiques
Okay.
where people can say, well, this is where I'm at and I don't know where to go from here. And then someone else can say, oh, have you thought about a different color? Or,
Right.
you know, if it's hard to spread your paint, water it down,
Yeah.
little things. Because, you know, I think that a lot of people that do this are just getting into painting. And they like that I've taken a lot of the,
Guesswork.
yeah.
Yes. I agree.
And then you can kind of sit and not think, and you're just painting lines, you know. So the phone went off, and I didn't put it beside me because I thought I wasn't going to answer it. But it went off so many times that now I'm wondering if everything's okay. Because I turned the air, I made it colder because these lights that we have to record make it hot. But my Airbnb guest is home. Is it cold? because it's even colder down there.
Right.
That's what goes through my head all the time. So I used to anxiously eat, right? I was like an emotional eater.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can't eat when I'm anxious.
Oh. Okay.
Like it's that, like, unfortunately I didn't like land in the middle. It's like a pendulum swing,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I have that going on. But you have the same thing, right? So like, I guess my anxiety lasts longer. But then again, it's like, God, it doesn't go away. And then like, you know, the problem goes away. And then I'm like, oh, good job, Abigail. Once again, you gained 30 pounds in 1 month or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I've just been so hogtied to my weight for so long. I'm just sick and tired of it.
Well, you know, there's a lot of people, because I'm on a whole bunch of different weight loss surgery groups on Facebook and all this, and I read these stories about these women and men that, you know, they can't eat this one particular thing because it makes them so sick or so nauseous or whatever. And I get jealous because I don't have that problem. Because I can still eat anything except for milk. Because I can no longer have a glass of milk because I've become lactose intolerant. But I can just have Fairlife milk, so that just kind of fixed everything. But yeah, I mean, I was, you know, having a really bad day, and I successfully ate an entire Butterfinger candy bar. And I mean, it took me all day to eat it, but I still succeeded. So I mean, you know, there's still, I mean, it's not a, because I have had people say, oh, you took the easy way out. No, there's nothing easy about this.
Right.
You know, because people are still assholes.
Right, and they're just insensitive, right?
Yes.
And a lot of times, here's what I've found, okay? When your actions or something you say kind of really ruffles somebody, then that means you're kind of like, you're hitting a sensitive spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? It's if they have a strong opinion, it's because they kind of considered doing that, and then like, you know, maybe there's some judgy people, but that's something that like I'm coming to terms with, like everyone has their own kind of path.
Yes.
And everyone doesn't need to be on my path.
Nope.
And there's not enough room on my path anyway. And I've stopped trying to bring people onto my path. I mean, I say that, but I'm like, I've got this business where I'm like, paint, cultivate creativity.
Yes.
It's necessary for wholehearted living. You have to do it, right? But at least I'm doing it with strangers now, I guess. I don't know.
I had somebody tell me something, and it really, I've used it since then. I can even claim it's my, you know, quote, whatever. So
Awesome.
feel free to use my quote. But someone had, like, I don't remember what the whole situation was, but their friendship kind of went kaput or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that they don't want that person to starve. They're just no longer invited to eat at their table.
Yes.
And I love that.
Right. I like that.
I like that a lot.
Don't wish.
Yeah, I don't want you, I don't, you know, you're just not,
Right.
you can't take up space in my space anymore, you know.
Right.
Go, you know, but.
So recently I kind of had this like mantra, you know, because I was kind of maybe even manifesting more of what I didn't want by concentrating on something that wasn't right. And
yes.
so I kept encountering people that weren't choosing me.
Yes.
And then finally it took one of my dear friends to be like, you're just asking them to choose you, which is a really simple ask. And when she said that it's a really simple ask, I was like, you're right, it is. Like, you know, and so now I'm choosing people that choose me.
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah.
There's also this video.
I'm chooseworthy.
She's so chooseworthy. There's this video that talks about people, like everybody comes into your life for a reason. They're either a leaf on the tree, a branch on the tree, or they're the roots. And they're the leaves on the tree. There's a whole bunch of it. There could be millions of leaves on a tree. One stiff wind and they're floating away.
Right.
The branches on the
One
tree.
stiff wind, also known as my divorce. Okay.
The branches on the tree, yeah, they can hold you up, and you're gonna walk out on the limb, and they're gonna hold you up. But once again, it's the further out there you get, or the longer you stand on it, it's probably gonna break and let you down. But the roots, there's only a couple of roots on a tree, and they're very strong and they're deep rooted, and we harness strife in our lives when we try to make leaf people into root people. It's pretty deep, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 So it's like if they come into your life and they're just there and they're ready to go, just let them go.
It's like you can't speak butterfly language to caterpillar people.
Yes.
And like, now I'm going to start saying like, you're just a leaf person.
Exactly.
I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say they're just a leaf
They're just
person.
a leaf
I'm not going to tell them to their face.
person.
So I went to the state park today. I hiked up I'm so sorry I forgot to use Listerine. I'm so sorry. I'm so close to you. I'm so sorry.
I can't smell anything. You're fine.
Good. You're just being nice.
I had nacho cheese bugles for lunch. You can probably smell them.
Nice.
All right.
So I walked up. I just felt compelled. I woke up this morning. I was convicted. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? Because I took a picture of one of these paintings and I put it on Instagram, and it was like, be gentle with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, remember, no matter how much you do today, you're enough as is.
Yes.
And then I put on my workout clothes and I hiked up the closed off road, and I used chalk. I had to carry my daughter's backpack with me, so I wasn't the crazy person carrying like a box of chalk. And I wrote out, "You are enough."
Awesome.
Not if, not
No.
when, just now.
Just right now.
Today. And I got so much joy from doing that, And then I was like walking back, and there were people walking up because I saw no one while I was doing it. It was kind of like a weird thing.
Yeah.
And then I saw all these people like walking up as I was walking down, and I was just like beaming because I knew they were going to see it. And they didn't know.
Yeah.
It felt so good.
That's cool.
But I don't care if there's no such thing as a good deed if you talk about it, because it was fun, and I highly recommend doing something that'll brighten somebody's day.
Yes. I still like to, like in the drive-through, getting coffee or whatever, pay for the people's food behind me.
Aww.
I think that's fun.
Yeah.
But I usually
Have you ever like said no, like if somebody got like a bunch of stuff, like never mind?
Let's say.
Yes.
I have to leave the window rolled down and listen to the person behind these orders. Because if they're ordering like for the whole office, I'm like, no, you're on your own. Sorry, dude.
I heard some funny joke, like there was like two people in a drive-through, like there's two lanes a lot of times in a
Yes.
drive-through, and like somebody cut somebody else off or whatever, and they were angry, and so when they got to the window first, I forget how it worked. Somehow they took the other person's food.
Yes, they said something like, that's my wife behind me. I'm going to pay for her food, and because we're going to eat lunch together or
Right.
something, and just drove off with it. That's
Right.
hysterical. That really does sound like something I would do.
That's awesome. So I like one day, like I had like a come apart when I worked in the family retail business. because of all the telemarketers
Mhm.
and like the faxes that would come through. And I called to get off of the list, and they were like so mean. Sometimes telemarketers can make you cry.
Mhm.
And I had the time to do it, and so I researched like the best way to get back at a telemarketer.
Yeah.
And what you do is you use their contact information and you reach out to telemarketers and you say, hey, I'm really interested in this product of yours. Now, if you call and I hang up on you, it's just because my boss walked in, and I really am interested, so please keep calling me back, and then eventually my boss won't be there.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it does sound like, honestly, the best way to get back at a telemarketer, doesn't it? Yep, I had to thin out my pan a little bit. I think partly when it just sits out, it just starts getting there, you know, getting a little. Now, so to go from this color to this color is more of a add white, not yellow, right? What do you think?
I'll say, yeah.
This white, this titanium white, isn't as opaque as some other whites,
Mhm.
and so it doesn't cover. Which, I mean, it makes it really great at mixing, but it takes more to mix it, really. And other whites, like I guess it has less powder in it. Yeah. Remind me later, afterwards, to talk about sublimation with you.
Okay.
All right, so you have a Facebook thing where you do your vinyl and sublimation and stuff?
Yes, monogramming. I have a big
Nice.
monogram. I have a 6-needle embroidery machine.
Yeah?
And all that good fun stuff.
Awesome.
I've discovered that I just thought I was addicted to crafting, but it turns out I'm also addicted to buying craft supplies.
Yeah, and those are two different things.
Those are two different things.
Speaking of, did you like my art cabinet? Did you notice it? Did you
I
soak it in?
did. I
Really?
did. That's a yes.
That was a Christmas present that I bought myself
Yes.
this past Christmas.
Aren't those the best?
Yes. And I wanted easier access, and I wanted to be able to organize, because you know, like if you don't have like a specific place for your arts and crafts, then you've got stuff in the garage, you've got stuff in the kitchen, and you know, like, and then you can only handle so much mess and junk, and then like you end up not doing arts and crafts, and
Yes.
so I didn't really realize how much this would cause my children, especially my daughter, to, oh, I'm gonna like do this art project.
Yeah.
Because she can just grab, you see I've got the pens and the markers and
Yes.
stuff, so she can just really grab something and start crafting. I love kind of fostering that with her, you know. Do you go to church?
No.
Or are you?
I think I was years ago when I was a kid. I was baptized into the Baptist church, which is to each their own. But I don't know. I just
Spiritual.
think that everybody's higher power is whatever God is more than just in a building that was built with a cross stuck on top.
Right.
Organized religion, I guess you could say. I don't know.
I'm kind of on the struggle bus right now with my organized religion. But, you know, it's because I feel like, because I wanted to say, yeah, but are you spending any time once a week or more cultivating your spirituality, right? Because it's hard to do that if you're not plugged into a church. But the other side of that is when you're plugged into a church, like they can use shame, manipulation, mind control, the shoulds, you know,
Yeah.
like you should do this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't have those thoughts, you should only feel this way, you should only do these things.
I think there's something to be said for the fact that everybody, when you go and purchase a Bible, if you go to the store and buy a Bible, there's only one, right? I mean, there's not a Methodist Bible and a Catholic Bible and a Baptist Bible and a Holiness Bible or whatever else, Baptist Bible. There's just a Bible. But depending on who reads it, they're going to interpret it however they, and that's man. That's not what it's supposed to be.
You know, my pastor said one time, he was like, but why would God allow something into the world that was confusing and wrong? And I'm like, okay, I get it, but at the same time, just because we don't have that answer doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
Right? Yeah.
You know? Right.
Right.
I feel like, because I've got enough battery for 2 hours, and we're just going to do like 2 hours.
Okay.
I really hope you finish though, because I'm afraid like if you get home with this
Yeah.
and it's not finished, then you're not going to finish it.
Oh, I'm so finishing this.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll just do for the 2 hours, and if we don't
Sure.
completely finish, then people can kind of like figure it out and then go to like Instagram and see what they look like when we're done. But I feel like I'm going pretty slow, so I don't know if I'm gonna finish. You see that Enjoy Your Day one? I spent 8 hours on that.
It's really good though.
And it was like the 4th time I had done that painting, because it was my first one, so
Right.
I made plenty of mistakes and I changed the design a little bit, because part of what I'm learning is how to maximize the effect of like the colors and everything, because I'm translating something from a digital design to a human painting.
Right.
And so, but then again, that's like the part of that figuring it out thing is like that thing I love about business, you know?
So I have a question, and this
Yeah.
is just my crafty mind
Okay.
coming up, you know. What if there were a stencil that held the words?
I've thought about that. That you could put on after.
That you just put on to the painting after it's dry and then paint it inside that stencil
Right.
to get your words.
I feel like this is, now imagine like, cause it may not be as clear cut with these words,
Mm-hmm.
but when I do the Bible verses,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like meditating on those words as you're painting it is part of like the,
Okay,
the
I guess,
experience, right?
Yeah, right.
And so maybe that's the case with these two. But like again, like I said, like a Sharpie or those like markers that you can use to paint on rocks or
Mm-hmm.
fabric or something.
Sure.
That those work really great too, for people that want to color them in with a marker. I don't know that there's money in I don't think there's enough money in my,
Right.
budget to be able to add that element to it. You know what I mean? But people that have kind of like one of those vinyl things at home, they could do something like that.
Absolutely.
Then they could just message me and I could send it to them, the font and stuff.
It's just not purple enough. I want more purple.
Okay, and so I can't ever remember, but I want to say it's this red and one of these blues.
Okay.
But this red and this blue make a terrible purple.
Okay.
I do remember that, but I can't remember which red.
So we're
I mean,
gonna add a drop of that
blue.
blue.
I mean, that looks
And
great to me.
then- And then this hunk of red over here, because it's there, why not?
Right?
And let's see what we get.
I take great pride in offering like the 12 tubes of paint instead of like
That's a lot of paint.
crappy like little like those
little
pods.
cups. Yes.
And it's terrible tempera paint or whatever.
Yes. Just not getting it.
Yeah, it's your underpainting though. You know?
Hmm?
It's your underpainting.
I know. That's true. That's true. So let's just carry on.
Awesome. Glad I could be there for you during that crisis.
Mhm. How old is Paul now?
12.
What?
Playing Huntsville Junior High football.
What?
I know, right? And so I like telling this story because it shows kind of those nuances of parenthood. You know, I was at a coffee shop with two of my girlfriends, and I was like, Paul did not tell me about football tryouts because he's scared to play, and I cannot believe he didn't. And they were like, you need to stop trying to like force him to be like you were. And I was like, I don't feel like I am. And they were like, you are. And so like I kind of grappled with that for a couple of months, but I still did it, right? And like Paul was like, I don't want to play because I don't want to be this scrawny little 6th grader with these enormous 8th graders, because kids grow so much in 7th and 8th grade. And I was like, I lied, bald-faced lied to him. I said, there's 2 teams, buddy. There's a 7th grade team and an 8th grade team, so you're not going to have to play with an 8th grade. And so he tried out for football. And so I'm like holding that line the whole time, because here's the thing, right? Once they start hitting, kids are like, I just want to be a manager, or no thanks, or hell yeah.
Yeah.
And Paul was like, hell yeah. He's like, I love hitting people. I love being hit. You know?
Yeah.
And that was so validating to me because you never know. And my friends told me I was like, trying to live my dreams through, that's a tough kind of thing to navigate as a parent, So I'm glad it worked out. I don't know what will happen with it, but
Right. That's wild. I can't believe he's so grown up. That's crazy.
like the other day, like he was like laying in bed, and also we were fighting about something, like bickering about how he's not making any friends, and and all these guys keep like pushing each other against the lockers and stuff. And I was like, whoever the quarterback is, the 7th grade quarterback moving up to 8th grade next year, are you friends with him though? Because it matters,
Yeah.
But he was sitting there, and his like leg was like, it's starting to get that like shape to it.
Yeah.
Like a grown man's thigh.
Yeah.
I was like, your legs are huge. He was like, I know. Because it's so exciting for him too,
That's funny.
But he's still very trim and skinny. And I think he always will be.
just remember him coming into the bank as a baby. Or I remember you coming in still pregnant. That
Right.
was forever. It seems like forever ago. But then again, it doesn't feel like that long ago. But
I'm unsure as to how I feel about this.
I'm really liking it.
I think I'm just gonna roll with the,
You need me to be your voice of reason now? I'm liking it.
So I don't think I'll like trim it in black.
Ouch.
You know
Trim
what I
one in
mean?
black.
These, you know,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know. Mine's kind of looking like a Halloween theme going.
See, it is October.
Oh, it is October.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know what I'm doing over here.
So I'll let Genevieve design her. I think it's gonna work out.
Yep.
Your stuff, I think it's gonna work out. I'll let Genevieve. I try to let Genevieve design her own art boxes for kids.
Yes.
And I was like, and she was the one that was like, hey, let's do like a Halloween box.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, that's smart. But like that day, like I literally was like, yay, I don't have anything to do today. And I was like, shit, you know, I've got to like design 2 new boxes. So I was like, what do you want to do for like the Thanksgiving November box? She was like, I want to have a turkey eating a heart. And I was like, no.
Oh.
Now when she tells the story, she's like, I just wanted the turkey eating a heart-shaped cookie. And I was like, that is not what you said.
Not what you said.
Weirdo. You know?
Oh no, be thankful she didn't say she wants like the turkey eating the pilgrim or something.
Right? That'd be funny. But then, like, you know, if I've got people like in other countries, like, and they don't have the same Thanksgiving we
Right.
have. So I'm just trying to make it about gratitude and stuff. And for the kids, they can still do like a turkey. Cause
True.
I found a really cute one. And then I'm gonna do kind of like something sort of harvesty looking, I guess,
Okay.
with some leaves and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like thankful, just thankful. Not
Thankful,
necessarily-
grateful, blessed is
Yes.
kind of the wording I put in there.
Yeah.
So let's see. It is kind of a pain to trim around these letters. But I think it's worth it.
Yes.
Get confused by the color. Because I'm finding like now that I'm done with all that lettering, I'm like, oh wait a second, what color's this and what color's this? Because I've got these little things that I
Yes.
didn't, that I'd forgotten, like the
Yeah.
loop and the M.
Why I've got just the. I don't know what I got going.
Magic
on.
napkins.
Magic napkins. Yes, it does. Magic napkins every napping day.
Okay, so purple. Well, I'm not gonna ask you what you did.
Nope.
I'm gonna use my dark red. I'm gonna do a little test here. I'm gonna do kind of like a loop of my dark red
Yeah.
and a leap of the dark blue and see if that is the color I like.
A zhuzh. Just a zhuzh.
Remind me like, you know, my daughter Genevieve, I call her Vivi.
Mm-hmm.
And zhuzh reminds me of like, it was like thinking about Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Yeah.
I was like, Zsa Zsa, Vivi, yes, that should be it. I had to come up with how to shorten her name
Yeah.
because, now I will say that I think that this is the most time consuming part.
I agree.
Because all of this is going to fly by,
Yes.
you know. But at first when you're doing this, you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. But it really won't. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to call her Vivi. And they were like, I think it'll just kind of come naturally. I'm like, that's what this is. This is it coming
naturally.
Because I'm going to choose what people call my daughter.
Right.
Because they were calling her Jenna, which is the name of like a porn star. And I was like, no,
No.
we're not calling her Jenna. Sorry.
No.
Sorry to anyone who has a daughter named Jenna or who is named
Name's
Jenna.
Jenna.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And see, my son's name is Christopher, and I've always called him Christopher because that's what I named him. And then, you know, friends through school or whatever, and his name tag at work and all that, it says Chris.
Right.
I didn't name you Chris.
I love the word Topher for Christopher.
Yes.
I love that. I was like, I had this memory of being at my aunt's lake house, and we had this big dinner on this long table,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like an impressionable, like 12-year-old or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and there was this like surly college-age kid that was like a friend of my cousin's,
Mm-hmm.
and his name was Topher. And I was like, I remember being like, oh, you're so dreamy. And he was like, look out there. Do you see those lights? And I was like, it was like lights on the lake. And I was like, it's beautiful. And he was like, that's a nuclear power plant. There's nothing beautiful about that. And he was just like the surliest guy.
Yeah.
But I still was like, yeah, you're so smart. That's so awesome. How old's Christopher?
22.
Where is he?
Home. He's either going to make his first million before he's 25, or he will never leave my house.
What's he working on?
He is one of the commercial managers at AutoZone.
Awesome.
And he did a little bit of college, and then, Mom, it's going to take some time. I'm going. Okay, whatever.
Hey, it's not for everybody.
It's not.
You don't go back usually, yeah, but it's
Right.
just not for everybody.
It's not. And I wish that schools would, I believe, now notice I'm a banker, not on the school board. I believe that up until your 9th grade year, because that's when you start high school, most places, up to your freshman year, you should be geared towards learning all your basics. And then once you reach 9th grade, you should be geared towards your adult goals. And if your adult goal is to be a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever, then you should be geared towards college. But if you aren't geared mindset towards college, I think then those last 4 years should be geared to a trade. Teach
Right.
kids a trade.
And they can learn a trade and venture away from that, but then they
Absolutely.
always have that trade.
Yes. And it has always bothered me to hear people say, stay in school. You don't want to be like that man with filthy hands. Or stay in school. You don't want to be like that man in Walmart with the nasty clothes. Well, you know what? That man in Walmart in the nasty clothes is probably a welder or a plumber or an electrician. And guess
Right.
what? They're probably pulling down 75 grand a year. Come
Right.
on now, you know. Stay in school. You don't want to be like that guy picking up trash off the side of the road. Well, you know what? They
So-
make pretty good too.
So do you think that there was maybe this was part of like college propaganda to get people to go to college? They started like kind of like shaming the working man. Do you feel like it comes from that, you know?
I think it comes from, you know, when I did this, I know you had to have done this. When you're pregnant
I
and
didn't
you
do it.
say, yeah, you did.
Whatever you're saying.
When you're pregnant, you say, I want my child to have a better life than what
Oh,
I
sure.
did.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, so when you,
Like
and
I was
you,
in a sorority just for my mother to be like, check,
right,
it's done.
right. So I mean, you have delusions of grandeur, right? Because you want your child to be this doctor. You want them to not have to work hard every day. You want them to, you know, have an easy life and like make lots of money and all. But it's not always like that. I just, you know, now.
Well, and, I mean, doctors don't make that much anymore.
they don't. No, they don't. And
I tried to help someone and tell them like, hey, you know what? Doctors don't really make that much anymore, and you have so much less liability insurance if you're like a nurse practitioner.
Amen.
And they were like, oh, and I was like, that's just the way it is. But like when you tell like a 18-year-old that is dead set on it, like,
Yeah.
it's not comforting news.
No.
Oopsers.
But you know, that's another thing. I think it's generational at this point because kids now, now I'm going to start talking like I'm old because I am. But, you know,
Kids these days.
kids these days, they think they're going to hop right out of high school and make $100,000 a year. They're
Yes.
crazy.
Right.
That doesn't work.
Right.
You know? So, anyway.
I remember hearing a girl complaining about her useless, photography degree, right?
Yeah.
And how like people like, convinced her to go into all this debt, and like it was like a good conversation because this guy was like, no one made you do that,
Right.
and she was like, but everyone told me it was going to be okay, and do what you
Yes.
love, right?
You're right.
But then where did that get her? Like, because
Thinking for yourself is not.
But I think that it's really dangerous to allow 18-year-old children to go into crippling debt right
Yes.
out of high school.
I agree.
Because they don't understand what they're doing.
Exactly. I agree.
They don't get it.
I don't get it.
And then, like, I have a friend that has a lot of student loan debt. And she sees no way out of it and said this is just like a part of, because like, it's like tripled since the original amount.
Yeah.
And she's in her 40s, and so like she has no like belief system that she can like overcome that in any way whatsoever. She's just like, and then this thing that I'm never going to pay off.
So last year I started back to college.
Yeah.
So now I'm going for bachelor's in business.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm 46. Oh my God, I'm 46. I'm 46, and now all of a sudden I've got this student loan debt, and and you're right, it's just crazy. It's I don't know.
So, yeah, but you can pay that off.
I can. It'll be fun. Because once I get my degree, I'm going to make lots of money, right?
Right.
Yes. Okay.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
To school.
Oh. Columbia Southern University. I'm going online. It's
Yeah.
actually a school in Gulf Shores.
You're probably not racking up way too much debt. With it being online and
Yeah.
stuff. Can't tell you how many people told me to go back to school whenever I got a divorce.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Wow.
right. But then those same people, because, okay, here's one thing about life. People are well-intentioned, and then they give you shitty advice,
Yes.
because that's just the only way that they see that you can do something, right? And that doesn't mean that that's the only way to do something.
To do something. Yeah.
And so those same friends, I had one of them that was like, you would be miserable as a nurse, but she, sure enough, a couple years ago was telling me to go to school to be a nurse, and I was like, and when you're going through a divorce, it's actually very hard to think for yourself when you've got this mountain of people that are trying to be helpful, but
But
you're
not
really. But you're like in a weak point, and
Yes.
you've got all these people giving you bad advice. Like, I don't know why it flows so freely from people's mouths.
I don't know, and this is like coming full circle because this is something that I've learned in the past couple of months with losing weight. Because I'll have, even today I had someone say, you're just fine, you need to stop losing weight right now, stop losing weight right now. And I'm like, I had to really think about that and realize that, you're not telling me to stop losing weight because you're worried about me being too skinny, because trust me, I'm not, I've still got a whole lot to lose, but they just don't want me skinnier than them.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Shitty people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though, I mean, like, they may not be, like, super aware of it.
Yes. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
it's not awesome. I don't think.
Mm-mm.
I've had people like that before, you know, that like felt threatened. You know, if I was losing weight or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah. They're just toxic.
Mhm. Do you work with this person?
No.
Oh, good. So you don't
He's a
have to see him
customer
all
to the
the time.
drive-thru.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate this mountain that I did. I like your sunset. The actual sun is pretty. It's
Yeah.
like a light orange.
So I like that one. It's got more color in it. I mean, trust me, up here I've got all kinds of color.
It looks really cool when you hold it back.
Oh yeah, that does look better. Well, let's do that to yours. See, I'm liking this. I like that.
Nice.
I like this. You achieved purple.
Yeah, I mean, when I go back, it's gonna be darker a little bit, but I wanted to just get it on there.
Right.
I think that like sitting upright
Mm-hmm.
and painting like this, I have some easels. Maybe I need to figure out how to do these videos with easels or something. I think like if I wasn't like on camera though, I would be hunched over or something, and my body's like, "What do you mean you've got good posture right now? I can't handle this." Because I am in pain.
Yeah.
Ouch. So I'm gonna mix this.
Okay.
See, I need more of like a, what do you call that blue?
Which blue?
That one you just did. It's like a
I don't know that. I don't know.
indigo blue, right?
Sure.
So indigo is what? This and this.
Maybe. Yeah, or you can just take a zhuzh of this.
Let's see here. So
So now we're gonna go one step darker, and then are we going to like full black on the bottom?
So I might do some black, and honestly, like if you feel comfortable and want to, you could kind of do like a tree or two, kind of like that seem like they're
wow.
really near, coming like right here or something.
Right.
But I'm gonna do deep purple, blue green, and then black on just this
The
little
little bitty thing?
this
Yeah.
little thing, and there's a tiny, if it's even on there. Blue, green, and a purple I think would be good, you know?
Okay.
What do you think?
I think to save the bottom half of my painting, I'm just gonna paint it and then write the words in. I know, right?
Because you don't want to go through it.
Hmm.
I mean, are you attached to the words? Do you want to consider not writing them in? I mean, you could do it, and you could go home and do it with vinyl even, right?
Yeah.
You could be one of those people. I think that, are you going to be happy with the way it looks if you freehand it? Only you know that. I don't know.
Possibly. I think, yeah, maybe, but I could also like,
Bam! Look at that. Isn't that
that's a pretty purple. But how'd you do that?
I don't know. So it's the dark red, the dark blue, and then like I mixed a little bit of the light blue in it.
Okay. So I could also come up with another saying. Magic happens and like,
I did this.
you know,
I did
make
this.
it like R-rated and only hang it in my bedroom.
Oh.
You know.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, inspiration it comes in all different shapes and sizes.
I was doing this painting with a friend, not this one, but like the very first one, the Enjoy Your Day one.
Yes.
And she's got this saying that she says all the time, San Suchi.
Mm-hmm.
And she nearly didn't write Enjoy Your Day, and she nearly wrote San Suchi. And I was like, okay. I mean, like, it was like my very first one, right?
Yeah.
I was a little butthurt about it,
Right.
but I got over it. But she ended up just doing Enjoy Your Day. But so San Suchi, she was talking to me. We were kind of like rapping about like different kind of sayings, you know. And she was like, I say every day, don't be an asshole. Or if you want to like clean it up a little bit and make it fancy, San Suchi. So the way that she said it, don't be an asshole, San Suchi. I thought that San Suchi was French for don't be an asshole.
That's what I was about to ask
Like
you.
san being without, so Suchi, like without asshole.
Exactly.
But no, it means like without cares or without worries, or it's kind of like a
Well, that's a
more reggae
bummer.
type. I know, I was so pissed off.
I don't like that now.
I'd already designed it. It was like San Suchi, and it was like a hand with like a string tied around the finger.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So now I guess I just need to like translate "don't be an asshole" and use that instead, because that's awesome. And again, that would also be labeled a loosely can call it inspirational quote.
Yes. Or I just did a new T-shirt and it says "Be a better human."
I like
I
that.
like that.
Places.
I didn't get purple. I got burgundy.
Oh, you did. But I'm gonna go with it. Awesome. I've got to get my detail brush for the, because this is what's kind of neat. This ridge that has so much going on with it.
Yeah. So I told my coworker today that I was going tonight and I was asked to star on a TV show in painting. She was like, "What channel is that on?" I'm like, "It's cable."
I love it. Throw her off the scent. She'll never
Yes.
find it.
She'll never find it. She's like, "Text me a picture of this painting you do." Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, the first one I did with like two of my best friends from college,
Mhm.
and we were drinking.
Mm.
Oh, the things that they said.
Oh my.
Yeah. I mean, they're both single
Yeah.
and not the least bit afraid to talk about what they liked and didn't like. And I mean, in all honesty, I drew it out of them.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And they, like, I sent them the video, and then they were like, wow, I can't believe I said that. Right out the gate, you know? But the question I asked was like, you know, if you were in a great marriage and everything was wonderful, right? And he was kind and loving and da-da-da-da-da, but the sex was terrible, right? Like, how long could you kind of put up with that, you know? Because that's just like a really interesting question
Yes.
to ask people.
Yeah.
Because there's all kinds of different answers you can
Yes.
have, you know? Because there's a million different scenarios that make it okay and not okay. You know?
Well, that's a deep subject. Well, there's a lot that can be taught.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was with this guy, and like we've tried to date a couple times, you know. And
Mhm.
anyway, he was like, "Bless his heart, I don't know what's wrong with him." Like, he's just got some like,
such a southern, bless his heart.
he's got like this like, he can't take criticism
Oh. Yeah?
in life in general, I'm guessing, right?
Okay.
But like he, like, you know, we were, you know, hanging out and he was like, isn't that the best you've ever? And I was like, so, cause I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
Because,
You really could have done that different.
yeah. And he was like, okay, damn, all right. But like, you could tell, cause the way he sets it up, he's like, nobody's better than me. And I'm like, could you just say that and then like people can't correct you, you know?
Right. Yeah, and I'm with you. I wouldn't have lied either because don't ask unless you want
Yeah.
me to tell you.
Well, because, I mean, if you want to be like, because how do you get out of it? At, like, so there's this guy, and I mean, I didn't sleep with him, but I could tell that he was terrible in bed,
Okay.
right? He was also 6'11",
Oh.
and very good looking.
Okay.
And we had a lot in common,
Okay.
right? But it's like, I mean, like he had to duck to walk through doorways and stuff, you know?
Okay.
But I think that what has happened in his life is because he's so tall,
Mm-hmm.
women just wanted to be with him. And then they just kind of put up with things and they thought that could be something that they could just kind of deal with. And then what happens, right? Like 5 years in or something, they're like, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
But like, how do you get out of that if you've been like faking it for like 5 years? Like, how do you like change course? Like, sit them down, like, so, you know, like you don't do that. So then
No,
you just
you don't.
leave them,
Right.
right? That's what happens is they get left,
Left.
and then they don't understand, and it's because no one's told them, because they thought that like they could handle, not being with them in a satisfactory way.
Right.
Right. So they changed the script. Did I put purple in the wrong place? What color did I say I was going to do this next one? That you're
Blue,
already
green.
doing? Okay, thank you. It's weird being like single though. I don't really wish it on anybody.
Yeah.
It's just, it's dire. It's dire out there. It's bad.
You know that, I mean, life itself is rough, you know?
Yes.
And to have somebody that you can, you know, come home to your space and they get it, they get what you're going, you know, and you can go through and you can talk about it, and that says a lot.
So it really does. And then like, it's really hard to not have that, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just very lonely. But then again, I'm also thankfully not willing to put up with just anything, just to not be lonely.
Amen. Yeah.
You know? I've been serial dating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been eating cereal. I've been, you know, dating a lot of guys.
So how do you date in 2020? Because if you're
You
wearing
don't
a
really
mask,
go. Nobody's wearing masks.
really?
No. I mean, I think that people are more choosy about meeting up until they really like them, you
Sure.
know? So I think that people are meeting less people on average, you know? A lot of people like meet in a park or some open area for a first date, you know?
Sure.
So I guess it is different, and some people just aren't really meeting, but then there's also this like, because the virus exacerbated the loneliness that so many people feel.
Yes.
And so there really is a lot of desperation, you know? Not by me, but by
She's not desperate.
Yeah. I mean, I am, but they can't tell it. Cause I also, like, I just have, like, high, priorities, you know, like, I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna be with just anybody.
Right. So, guys out there in YouTube land, if you're right-handed, paint from the left to the right, or you'll stick your hand in the paint that's on the right side
Oh,
of your
thank
hand.
God, I thought you were doing, like, this call to action, you were like, YouTube guys. I was like, is she gonna tell them to find me? It's terrible.
There. Now you don't stick your hand in the painting.
It looks so good on that one because it's all expressive.
Yeah,
The lighting on the camera.
that's cool.
Mhm. Do you need like a piece of paper or anything to like lay down on it, or you can?
Good.
I'm going to fake and go around the S in dreams. And keep everything below this. So I have one line on one color, well, except for right here. The when. I can't do that. Alright, so you were painting around the letters.
I am.
Begrudgingly or happily?
Happily.
I don't know, you said it awfully cheery. Okay, I'm kind of digging my color. I'm digging it. I was
Yeah.
upset, but
I'm liking it.
so speaking of like waiting to get your surgery, you know, I've been considering getting a little work done.
Yeah?
And people tend to say that, like, the only thing I regret is not doing it sooner, right? But you just have to wait until, like, your inner voice is loud enough that you give yourself permission no matter what anyone else thinks about your decision.
Absolutely.
Is that
That's it.
same for you?
Same for me.
It's so interesting.
And, weight is such a struggle, regardless of whether you weigh too much or you weigh too little. Weight is, and it's very, people feel like it's okay to judge.
Listen, just because I'm carrying my secret on the outside doesn't give you permission to talk about my secret with me.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Just because you can see it, like I have family members, every time I see them, they look me up and down and judge the way I look. Every single time. And then they make comments when they want to.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, not okay.
Not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you can see it doesn't mean you're allowed to talk about it.
Right. Yeah. So it's, but for me, I wasn't getting any healthier, because losing weight on my own because all this is a tool. This is because trust me, I can still.
You could stretch your stomach out.
I do. I can stretch my stomach out. I can choose to eat Butterfingers 3 meals a day instead of eating my high protein, no sugar, low carb meals that I'm supposed to be eating. I can still choose to eat horribly and I won't lose the weight. So it's just a tool, and just like any other tool, it's all in how you use it. But I wasn't losing weight on my own without the tool. And I wasn't getting any healthier. Because I was already, I did have diabetes, and I did have high blood pressure and high cholesterol, and the crazy thing is the 29th of December is the last day I took any of that medication.
Really?
So I know, my blood pressure is normal, and my cholesterol is normal, and I'm no longer diabetic at all, and
That's wonderful.
yeah, it's, so, but yeah, you're right, it's, and let me say this too, I find now, like when I'm walking into a store, men will hold the door open for me,
Right.
and it just pisses me off.
Right.
Why didn't you do this 100 pounds ago, asshole?
So my weight tends to fluctuate in this really uncomfortable area that's in between slightly overweight and within normal range.
Right?
And so because sometimes 10, 15, sometimes 30 pounds,
Sure.
right, can change me from acceptable to not acceptable.
Yes.
Like, I also, though, I have a pep in my step when I'm thinner. I do think I put off a different vibe when I feel better about myself.
Sure.
But regardless of that, I think that men treat me differently as a stranger.
Yes.
Like, so I'm less of a lady. But then,
Absolutely.
But then, okay, this opposite thing happened too, and it pissed me off to the same degree. I was at a CrossFit class,
Mm-hmm.
and after the class, this guy started helping just the overweight women to put their barbells up and stuff, and I was like, huh. But like,
I
he
know.
was actually doing the thing that we're bitching about right
Yes.
now.
And still bitching about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what? I'm not bad enough for you now,
Exactly.
And honestly, like, I was around him enough times that I saw that, like, he's just navigated, like, I'm a gentleman, and I feel like I'm going to help a woman lift heavy things. She's done her workout. She wanted to do her workout. Now I'm going to be a gentleman and do this. And the fact that he was doing that, I was around him enough to where I saw that he also helped just the women around.
Right.
You
Okay. Yeah.
So it wasn't, but he was going to them first.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of choosing to not go to them first, which was beautiful.
Right.
And I still got pissed off about it.
So when I first started, like, I would say by April, because my wedding ring is a size 8. Well, now on this finger I wear a size 5. And my wedding ring was my mother's, and I'm not going to wear it and lose it. That's not an option, right?
Right.
So at this particular junction, I don't wear a wedding ring.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I'm any less married. So now I've got these men that want to talk to me and open doors for me and be
Oh.
nice.
Right.
But when I roll my eyes at them because I'm pissed off because they opened the door for me now that I'm 107 pounds lighter,
Right.
they're just thinking I'm some bitch and I'm not married.
Right.
And I should be grateful that a man is talking to me.
Right.
I don't know.
Grateful.
Bless
oh my
them.
gosh.
Bless them. Men are just dumb and they can't do anything right, and I know that. And
So I have this neighbor.
okay.
Like this whole time I'm like, is this going to be a public or private video? And I just keep getting worse and worse. I have this neighbor.
Okay.
He's 64.
All right.
He's a personal trainer. Right? But he's 64, and I'm 41. And he told me, like, cause he like tries to convince me to like date him or to go out with him or even to have sex with him. He's like, we're two consenting adults. I was like, actually, I'm saying no, and you're trying to talk me into it. That's not the definition of consenting.
No.
You know? So one time he said, you should be glad that I like you because I have really high standards. And I was like,
What the hell's that supposed to even mean?
right? He was like, you should be grateful that I like you. But then, like, you know, my friend was like, I don't understand. Why is he trying so hard with you, Annabelle? And I was like, I'll tell you why. Because he's in a rental house, and he lives with his daughter and her 3 babies.
Oh.
And he sees me in a house with
Without a
extra
man.
room.
Yeah.
So it's not really, it's like, I'm a house for him. I'm not a,
But you know, you could just be a convenient for him. I mean, just walk across the street, booty call.
right?
Yeah, no, not happening. Mm-mm, not feeling it.
So one time, oh gosh, I kissed him.
Oh.
And I mean, it was dark, and so like, I couldn't really see how old he was. But then like, he enjoyed the moment, and he like made this noise, and he was like,
That's not attractive at all.
it was like this old person sound, and I was like, I'm out, I'm done, bye, gotta go. Like it was just like it brought it into reality for me, you know?
Right?
Oh gosh. I was like newly single, and you know, that stuff's hard to figure out.
Where am I gonna get to go down on Nixon?
Didn't even remember me, barely remembers me, and I worked with him for some short period of time, and he invited me to hang out with him and his wife,
Oh.
and he barely remembers. Like, actually, I don't think he remembered it at all, but he kind of remembered me.
Right.
Like, how many, like, what does that mean? Like, are you, like, saying that so often?
Right?
Because I remembered it, clearly. He was like, I'm just lucky. All the women I date just like women. So, anyway,
Well,
it's definitely going to be a private video.
it is now.
Gosh. I thought if I wasn't drinking, I wouldn't be, like,
Yeah.
saying weird shit. Oh, well.
I don't know about that color. I think it needs some more.
Well, I don't know, because it's a lot like this one.
Yeah. But it's a lot like this one. But then I don't know. So I think I want it like completely different. I don't know. I like that green that you're doing.
Thank you. I was like, how did I do that? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I need to start using like these little things that stick up, and and to remind myself, like, you know, this blue and this yellow, or whatever. Is that what those are for? Is it?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. Huh. I might have to Google that.
Well, it might be just for stacking them.
Oh.
Like, cause I guess like a lot of times like kids would use this in a classroom or something, right? And that helps you to be able to pull them apart. Right.
Sounds good to me.
Let's go with that. Oh man,
Look at that purple.
what a weird place with the W and the H. Ooh, I like it.
Did you?
There's some like plant, and I think it's the one that I walk by when I'm walking the closed off road, and I'm like, oh, that's so fragrant, and I think it like, I'm allergic to it and it messes me up,
Yeah.
because my throat's a little tickly after walking today. 'Cause they haven't cut back anything on the sides of the closed off road this year. I think they normally do. That's one thing I started doing during the virus is I was like, I've got to like get outdoors and have some anti-gel time, you know, because It's hard. Being around the kids all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. Damn
It was hard, you know, the bank was closed. We actually closed the doors and just worked the drive-through for several months. And I thought, self, this is gonna be awesome.
it. Mm-hmm.
No customers are coming in. It was so hard. I was so glad when we opened the doors back
Because
up.
you didn't realize how much you depended on those interactions, right? For
It
your
was
like mood
crazy.
boosting and stuff.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just so much more work. It really was.
Really?
Yes, because the phone would just ring, and it was more, you know, it was more paperwork to print off and mail off, and they sign and mail back, or fax or email or whatever. It was just so much. It was just so different, and not in a good way. So I have a question about the mountain up here. What happened to that great big cross that used to be?
It's still there. It's covered up with land trust trees, and nobody can cut them down.
Wow.
I don't know. It's a really cool trail. You go up about halfway up the Burritt, like vertical parking
Yes.
or driveway. About halfway up on the left, there's some handicap-only parking spaces.
Mhm.
Park there and walk this handicap trail that's about 2 miles.
Yeah.
And about halfway through it, you walk up to the cross.
Oh wow.
It's a really easy. I don't think it would still be technically a handicap trail anymore, but it's a really great trail for like. I used to take the kids, little.
Why in the world didn't someone clean that up?
Well, but because you're not allowed to cut the land trust trees, right? Someone needs to just do it, and ask for forgiveness later.
Right.
And so, like, I reached out to somebody, and they were like, about once a day, someone asks us,
Yeah. That's just, I don't know. I just think that's awful.
I know, me too. How's it going? My favorite quote, like, is too early to tell, too late to do anything about it.
You know what? That is very accurate. I'm just gonna keep following these letters.
Somehow I've like taken the little like tail out of the A on every A.
I'm just wondering how we're gonna, what are your words of wisdom for now going back and remixing all of these colors to paint your final coat?
So if there's a color that I want, then I can use the colors that I mixed as a reference. But really, I think I just got like close to the colors that I wanted specifically,
Right.
and not like right on the money. So I'm okay with starting over,
Yeah.
So, to recap, no wisdom was given. I mean, I feel like I'm just kind of still figuring out what, how to mix these paints. You know? Alright, now what color was I gonna do this?
You were gonna do the little spots on either corner in black. I
Okay.
remember that.
Right?
I don't remember. And maybe dark blue?
Another purple?
I'd say another purple, just because purple's nice.
Isn't it? So I met this guy last night. I matched with him about a year ago, and then he just fell off the face of the earth. You know, things happen, whatever. And so we started talking again. It was about a week ago, you know, and I met him like in person for the first time last night.
Oh, okay.
And I was telling him, I was like, so I kind of feel like it would be fun. And I was really just kind of telling him to see like what his reaction was going to be. It's like, I think it'd be fun if I like did first dates and painted and got to know somebody. And he was like, that's a really good idea. He didn't say like, no, don't.
So there is a photographer on Facebook. I'll have to find her and tag you in it. She actually does first look, but it's a first date. Like, she picks these people who are willing, obviously, to do this. And they have a photo shoot, and then they go to dinner, and they've never met.
Man, I don't think I'd want to be on that because like usually, like I'm pretty sure my face when I see
face
guys
doesn't
like,
lie. Yeah, I can't. I don't have a poker face at all.
right?
I do master the resting bitch face though. So it's, yeah.
So, I mean, like, my issue is, like, if you say you're 6'5", don't show up being 5'11". Because I'm 5'9", so I kind of know.
Right.
I can kind of gauge.
Yeah.
And I, you know what I care more about how tall you are is your honesty.
Yeah, don't lie. Especially not something like that we're gonna
Like, women don't know, right?
Right.
I want to do this guide for women, right?
Mhm.
And take like all those usual like spots that men take selfies for dating websites.
Yes.
And I want to like make a guide of like, okay, if he's in the chair, right, and the chair comes to here on him, then he's this tall, right? Or like the panels on the bathroom door that you're
Yes.
gonna see, right?
Yes.
Like I'm gonna mark it out. Like so the doorknob is 3 feet and then the top of it is 7 feet, right? And
Yeah.
so that makes this like 3, 4, 5, 6 feet and like just
Yes.
people can tell. I'm loving it. What color? Another purple. So I'm kind of like purple blue, purple green, purple black.
Okay.
So it needs to be like a dark purple though.
Okay.
I feel like, right? I can't go back to that. Won't make any sense. I don't know. Some of these paints are drying up and so they're getting kind of peely. Yeah, it's gross.
I always started this. You did not tell me that these were supposed to make sense. Did not. I read the instructions and I didn't read that.
Nothing has to make sense. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I like that purple that you're doing.
Me too.
I think it makes sense on yours. I don't think it would make sense on mine because I've got that purple here.
Right.
And so then it
See,
would,
I'm
it would mess
liking
with
this
you.
down here. I don't know what I did up here, but I'm gonna fix it.
See, because you got your
I got my
sea
groove.
legs, right? Yes.
Yes.
if I want my purple to be a little darker, but I don't want to add black, let me see if I can add this brown. Or green, or more
Red.
blue, more red. Is that the trick? It's hard to tell. But I think I like it. Look. Or is it brown?
I think it's brown.
Oh God, it's poor brown. Okay. You think more red?
Let's try more red. I mean, we got a 50-50 shot.
Yes, I do. I did that like thing the other day with my kids. I like walked through the color wheel with them,
Yeah.
you know, and they were like, I was like, it's really easy to remember because red and green is what, and they were like Christmas. I was like, and then orange and blue is, and they were like, oh.
Yeah.
And then purple and yellow. Okay, did I make that color again?
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Let me just say.
No.
So I gotta say that like having these around my house, cause like I'm still working out of the house.
Right.
To make these, and I desperately want like a cute little space to go to work and put these together and stuff.
Mhm.
But it doesn't make sense for me right now. But I was just thinking the other day because my best friend had a birthday, and I was like, "Shit, what am I gonna get her?" I was like, "Oh, let's send her two of these. Like, have
Right.
fun, you know." And Genevieve will like have a birthday party, and she's like, "What are we gonna get him?" I'm like, "Here you go. Here's pizza."
So do you put these together and ship them out?
Mhm.
Awesome.
Mhm. And I gotta say, like, the most high I've probably ever felt in my entire life, right, was that day when all of the cost started to like configure, and I started to see like how much it was gonna cost to
Yeah.
to put all this in and shipping and you know, that's like such a business high, you know. I loved it. Not looking forward to the dip
Mm.
when like things get boring. There's so many moving parts. I think it's gonna take a long time for that to happen. So many things I don't know yet about the business. It keeps it interesting, you know.
Yeah.
Like I do like bookkeeping for a law firm, and I just like I kind of run in there and like do work as fast as I can because that's what makes it interesting. If I like had plenty of time, I'd be like, oh, this is so cool.
Yes.
So you think that when you get your degree that you'll get out of banking?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to do something different.
Yeah. Listen, I hear the happiest people are the ones that, you know, change careers
Yeah.
2 or maybe 3 times. Not jobs, but careers, you know. I don't know if that's true or not.
Unless my boss decides to watch this, and in that case, I'm not going anywhere.
You haven't said anything detrimental.
Nah.
So the way it'll work is like, you know, I'll do it unlisted on YouTube probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't really said anything, and I
Nah.
don't care about what I say.
Oh yeah, I'm good with whatever I've said. So yeah.
So I'll just post it on YouTube, and then I'll give you the link, and then you can share it or not.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is a split screen of these 2 angles.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they're just going at the same time instead of like cutting and editing them, you know, so that you can just see both things all the time. And this was the first time that I was smart enough to have like the vertical camera angle, since things are beside each other.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So I'll make this other purple like a different somehow, maybe. I don't know. All right, moving right along, huh?
Moving right along.
And so starting back at the top, or what?
Yes. Not quite sure what we're gonna do. We are gonna spin it so I don't stick my hand in the purpleness.
Mm-hmm.
What should I do? I'm thinking that we're gonna do a zhuzh of this. Maybe a bigger zhuzh of that.
So do you think that if I offered, you could buy the box, like a VIP box that actually included painting with me, like you are? What do you think about that?
Say it again?
You think a stranger would, you know, do like a VIP box and come to my house and stay in my Airbnb and do a painting with me?
Well, I showed up for free.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. I think it would be cool.
Yeah.
I think that would be, I mean, it would almost, I think it would be cool to like present that to your next person that rents the Airbnb. Like, hey, I also do this other thing. Would you be willing to come hang out and paint one with me?
Right. See, maybe I'll get that guy. There's this guy that comes and stays with me, and he's stayed a few times, and what he's doing is he's visiting his daughter,
Yeah.
and he lives in Tennessee, but he's moving to Huntsville.
Okay.
But his daughter is the same age as my daughter, so our daughters play together, so then we ended up hanging out and stuff.
Okay.
Maybe I'll paint with him.
That'd be cool.
So, I wonder, I think I'm gonna not paint my letters right now, and I'm gonna go over the whole background again,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna kind of think about what color to do my letters.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Is that what you're gonna do?
I think.
I've just made a clusterfuck of this word with. It's just like a, just leave it alone, let it dry, right?
Yes. I just want this thinner. Let's just do this.
Yeah, just some of that dirty paint water.
Okay, so let's try this one.
Ugh. These letters are harder to see at the bottom, aren't they? Goodness.
Okay.
So, so you're not a huge fan of trimming out the letters? Or are you rolling with it now?
I think I kind of rolled with it down there better than I did up here. I think up here I had something else in my brain that I wanted it to work a different way.
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on with that, the variation of the sunset colors and stuff.
Yes. And I think the lines that are in the top, and they're all different color. There's just a whole lot going on.
And how long's it been since you painted something?
A hot minute.
See? So, once again, I'm at the end of the video, and I've got a really great tip from the beginning. and it'll be too late for you. You will have already given up and thrown it against the wall. So I suggest starting with the front and moving backwards and doing that upside down
Yes.
until you get comfortable with everything, and then let it dry, and then go back and do it maybe background and front ground after it dries, or maybe just do front to back twice. Maybe that would work, right? Oh, I just realized that clock